Okay, our third graph we're going to look at is a box and whisker plot using Excel. And so what I did was I took my boys' test scores, the min, Q1, median, Q3, max, everything you need for the box and whisker plot. Same thing with the girls. I put them right next to each other like this, or right on top of each other. So the boys are all five are together, the girls all five are together. And then what I'm going to do, since we're going to make a scatter plot essentially, we want all the boys' test scores at the same level and all the girls' test scores at the same level. So I'm going to kind of cheat here. I'm going to make all the boys, I'll put 3 for in this column, and then all the girls will put 8. And I'm just picking random arbitrary numbers, just some so that there's a little bit of spread between the two numbers. And you'll kind of see what we're going at here in a minute here when we make the graphs. So highlight your data, the boys' test scores and the girls' test scores all at once. You don't have to highlight any of this stuff over here. And then hit Insert, and we're going to make a scatter plot. So what it's going to do is it's going to graph all 5 boys' test scores on the same level, 3 up from the x-axis, and then all 5 girls' test scores, 8 up from the x-axis. They'll all be together. So we'll hit Scatter Plot, and we'll just do that first one there. And this is what we're looking for. We obviously want a title. We're going to get rid of these lines, and I'll show you how to do that in a minute here. But we want both box and whisker plots on the same graph so we can compare them right next to each other on the same scale. So I think chart layouts, it looks like this one might be pretty good. It's got a title, it looks like. So we'll click on that. This looks pretty good. So our title, we'll change that in a minute here. We don't need these grid lines here. So I can't figure out how to get rid of them. I'm sure there's a way. But I'm going to click on these lines, and then I'll right-click, and then I'm just going to hit Format Grid Lines. And what I'm going to do, line color, I'm going to change it to a solid line, and I'm going to make these lines white. That way they'll just kind of blend in with the white background. If I right-clicked on that, it won't allow me to do no lines. So that's what I really want, is I don't want any lines there. But since I can't do that, I'll just change it to a white line, so that way we can't see it. This y-axis, this really means nothing, because our boys' data is not really 3 up, and our girls' data is not really 8 up. We just want them separated. So I'm going to click on that, and then just hit the delete button, and that gets rid of that. And we really don't need a y-axis title either, so we'll delete that. See, I just clicked on it and hit the delete button on my keyboard. So, and I don't need this Series 1 thing. That's also unnecessary. So I'll just click on that and delete it. So I've got my box and whisker plot ready to make. This down here I would maybe title Test Scores. And then we're going to label the boys and girls stuff up here. Chart title, we would definitely want a box and whisker. We'll call it Chapter 6. Test scores, boys and girls. Okay. So to make our box and whiskers, it doesn't do it for us in Excel. So I'm going to go up to Insert, Shapes, and then I'll use the rectangle for my box. So I click Shapes, and then up here is a rectangle, or if you don't have this on yours, Basic Shapes. There should be a rectangle here somewhere. Flowchart maybe. We'll click on that, the rectangle. Okay, so I'm going to make my rectangle around Q1 and Q3. And then I don't need this shaded in, and I don't need it blue, so I'm going to make it white. And then shape fill, I'm going to put no fill, because I do not need that filled in. So I have my box around my Q1 and Q3, and now I'll put my whiskers on the end. It doesn't need to be orange. I'll make that black. Okay, so I'll put my whiskers. I'm going to go up to Insert, Shapes, and then just select the Line tool. And then if you hold down Shift, it'll make a nice straight line for you. And there's my whisker, and I'll make that black as well. Oh, I don't need outline here. I need weight. And I want to make this thicker. And I want to make it blue. So, how do I do that? Shape effects? No? Oh, here we go. So this will change the color up here. I want it black. There we go. Okay, and then I'm going to do the same thing for the other whisker. So insert shapes, click on the line tool. Going to draw a line, a little whisker out here. And then I want to make that dark. Looks good. And then we'll also do the line for the median. So insert shapes. That guy, go straight down for the median. Looks like I could move it over just a hair. And then we'll make it a dark black line. Cool. So I've got my box and whiskers all set up for my girl data. And then I'll do the box and whiskers for the boy data. So same thing. We'll insert shapes, rectangle, do a rectangle around the boys, Q1 and Q3. I'm going to make that white. I'm going to make it transparent or no outline. And then I want that line, I want the outside line thicker. So we'll go weight. We'll make it thicker. And it looks like I didn't make it. Oh, fill. Shape fill. I want no fill. Okay. And then I'm going to make my whiskers again. So insert, shapes, line. We'll draw that whisker out there. We'll make it dark again. Make this line here dark, and same thing for the median. And there you go, boys and girls. This is the box and whisker plot for the stats project in Chapter 12. You should also, it would be very beneficial to label each of these points. And so to put a label on here, you could do insert, pardon me, and then shapes, and then text box. And so this text box, what you can do is just kind of make a little text box over each one. And so my minimum for girls was 35. So let's put a little 35 in that text box. And then you could do that for each of these other labels as well. All right, and that's it for your box and whisker plot.